What's up guys, welcome to the first class video, and for this one I'm going to be covering the Pyromancer. Now the Pyromancer was revealed by Proletariat, I think that's the name of it, but I'm not 100%. The guys who make Spellbreak anyway. About 4 months ago, and yes, I am starting to get into the game a little bit later than a few other people, but I do want to give it my best effort to bring you guys Spellbreak content at least weekly until there's enough things to do it more than once a week. Anyway, onto the Pyromancer. Every class comes with 4 scrolls, 1 passive, 3 that you can upgrade throughout the game as you get more points to upgrade. You'd either, okay, I can't actually tell you, but you'll once the game is out, you'll see how you get your more points. So first one, Phoenix's Rebirth. This is your passive one. When you die, you come back to life after a couple of seconds with 50% HP. You run with increased speed and you're invulnerable, but you're also unable to attack for a few seconds. Some people use this to switch it on whoever is attacking them and play super aggressively, or run away, hide, and gather yourself up again. Basically turtle yourself until you're back up to fighting fit conditions. Anyway, so Born of Fire, become immune to your fireball explosions and heal for 2, 4, or 6 HP depending on the level you're at per second while standing in fire. This is pretty handy. So Pyromancer is one of my favorite classes simply because of the amount of healing and dots you can do, so damage over times, abilities that you can get. Born on Fire being one of these healing ones, healing you for up to 6 HP per second while standing in fire. It couples quite nicely with Ignite. Players can be set on fire, dealing 3, 6, or 9 HP damage per second for 3 seconds. So you can basically set yourself on fire for 3 seconds and heal yourself up to 6 HP per second, so up to 18 HP, which is quite handy. And Lasting Burn, your fireballs will leave puddles of fire that last for 5, 10, or 15 seconds. So you can throw down a fireball and it'll have like a puddle, stand in it for up to 15 seconds if you're at the highest tier of Lasting Burn, and you can heal for 6 HP per second. So that's at least close to maybe, that would in fact fill your full HP up. So yeah, basically at low levels, Ignite might not seem like a lot of damage, basically doing 3 HP per second, but it stops them from being able to regen much at all, because your shields, I'm sure you'll see in some of the footage, they only increment in specific amounts. I'm not going to say which in case they're not. And same with the healing potions as well. Of course, they don't just give you your full HP, and you'll see that in videos as well. Lasting Burn can be quite helpful, especially because of the healing, like I said earlier. Especially if you proc your Phoenix's Rebirth. Oh, you only get to use this once as well. So yeah, once you've got your Phoenix's Rebirth proc, you don't have it again. You can either switch it on your opponent, attack quite aggressively and try and take them down before they do 50% of your health back to you. If you decide to turtle, you can of course run away and set a Lasting Burn puddle down and heal up for like 2, 4, or 6 HP per second while standing in that fire. So it's up to you to how you want to play. Born in Fire, I think, is one of the better abilities, mostly in early-ish game, like early to mid-game, because when you're in late game, in any battle royale, you don't have a lot of time to go hiding, really. Lasting Burn is also quite helpful for sort of cutting off areas or forcing people out of areas, because you can just set down a bunch of fire puddles. They have to get out of there or they're going to burn. In terms of being thematic about being a Pyromancer, who doesn't want to throw fireballs? Especially because as a mage, what's the most basic thing you can think of when thinking of a mage? Like, for example, the old, like the folktale Merlin, or like, I suppose Harry Potter doesn't use a whole lot of fireballs. There are some in movies and books, but it's not as common. But when you think of wizard, you think like someone who can use fire and cast spells, and usually these spells are fire, so it's very fitting as a thematic for sure. I wouldn't say this is exactly top tier because of how, unless you are incredibly good at predicting where opponents are going to go, because these fireballs have to travel as well. You'll see that in videos as well. Like, unless they're super close up, it could be about a second. So they are dodgeable and very easily missable, unfortunately. But if you can predict where your opponents are going to be, you can definitely hit them. And hitting them is what you want to do for sure. As well with the Pyromancer, it's all about using a flame gauntlet. So unless you have one at the beginning, it's not going to be a whole lot of use unless you're banking on having to use that Phoenix's Rebirth early in the game, and you do not want to use your Phoenix Rebirth in the early game, because then you've effectively got no passive ability for the rest of the game. Now onto basically combos. Combos with the flame gauntlets that you can see with in some of the video here that I'll be showing. You can pair it with your toxic. You can create like a I can't remember exactly the name of it, but we'll just call it wildfire because it's green flames like in Game of Thrones. I believe that's called wildfire. You can set your the poison clouds alight. You can also throw your toxic into a fire and make it and turn it like green flame as well. I'll show some footage of that. You can also use the earth gauntlet to make another line of fire as well. Like if you have the wall of fire set up, you can use your earth gauntlet to knock through that fire wall and create more firewalls. There's a clip of footage in here where you can see both players are doing pretty much that, and just making this big fiery mess, really. You can also combine it with the air as well. You can combine it with the air ability, where you can set up a tornado, shoot a fireball into it, or you can set it up in a puddle of fire probably, and it'll create a fire tornado. I don't know if they last the same amount of time or if they do extra damage. I haven't fully checked that, but I believe that the poison and fire one does extra damage, but it doesn't last as long as far as I can tell. You can basically hard counter ice as well with it. Of course, I believe in some of the footage as well, you can see that the fire does sort of extinguish some of the ice and has like a steam sort of thing. Yeah, there's a lot to fire, but like I said, it wouldn't be exactly top tier. Yeah, so you can see in Sponge's clip, his name will be up in the top right here. She's name will be in the top right. You can see that at one point they do shoot the gauntlet at the fire or water, and so a bit of steam comes up from that. And you can do with that as you see fit. I can't really say a whole lot just yet because not everything is released, still under an NDA. And yeah, I hope that this has been a bit of a helpful video, and you look forward to more Spellbreak content next week or later in the week if the NDA is lifted. Thanks for watching. Good luck out there.